A beautiful spring morning, with the sunlight streaming through the trees in the forest, and the mist newly rolling from the Aberdeenshire hills. What better setting for a scout at camp? What better way for a boy of the first troop to brush aside the cobwebs of winter than a week spent in camp at Clinterty? The quiet of the morning is shattered with the bustle of camp, and before too long, the three-course breakfast is produced, and a cup of tea is being served. Immediately after this, everything and everybody has to be scrubbed clean and arranged neatly for inspection. This inspection time also provides an opportunity to see everybody smartly dressed in the Scout uniform. It's about the only opportunity to see everybody smartly dressed in uniform, so full advantage is taken for filming. There is the senior patrol, foxes, eagles, swifts, stags, and curlews. The Scouters, Nicky Duckett and Peter Jeffrey, with Harry Miller, the troop leader. An obstacle course was built round the campsite during the week to give the patrols pioneering experience, and one or two items are given a trial. Camp life seems to be centred mostly around eating, and a patrol is detailed to organise the lunch. In the afternoon, some of the younger members demonstrate their newly acquired skills at lighting fires and cooking their own tea.
You can't believe a treat of it. I've got a rainbow shining on my way. There's a song in my heart, a chorus and a tune-iverse. I'll do my part and sing it to the universe. I'll make each day a wonderful day.
Back in camp, the Scouters confer round the fire about the evening's programme, perhaps a game in the field, and later on something special for the last night. The obstacle course was somewhat on the ambitious side for the youngsters, so the patrol leaders were persuaded to take part in a timed race over the whole course in the late evening. First man off, Halsey Bradford, Michael Colvin streaking off into the wood. Alan Stewart shoots through the tunnel between the trees and across the commando bridge. Down the vertical rope. David Smith crossing the commando bridge. Alan swings across the dam. And Roddy MacDonald crosses the marsh climbs the rope ladder and swings over on the ropeway to become the winner. Summer camp at Auchentoul in Glenesk, with a typically overcast sky. There were only 2 days in the duration of the camp without rain, which made conditions a little difficult. Nevertheless, standards in camp were high, and the stag patrol nearest the camp entrance and furthest upriver set the pace. Next to them on the campsite are the Fox Patrol. Further down at Curlew's, much scrubbing going on. Even the PL lends a hand. Curlew's other neighbours are the Swift Patrol. And the last patrol at the far end of the camp are the Eagles, putting the finishing touches to an almost perfect kitchen area. In commanding view of the whole layout stands the Scouters' tents, with the flagpole in front. A boy's stay in camp is packed with activity of all kinds: hikes, rambles, games, swimming, cooking, cleaning, digging, filling in, and a host of different aspects of the outdoors, arranged to suit all weathers and geared to the age of the boy. For those left behind to mind the campsite on a day of hikes, there is a chance to eat well. On another day, one of the most popular of scouting activities, a wide game, played in the woods above the camp. The plot is a simple one. Some dispatches have to be taken through enemy lines to an outpost in the backwoods. This is an excellent opportunity to let off steam and generally get some exercise away from the campsite. Colonel Jeffrey and Major Colvin. The enemy on the lookout. Aha! Here's a message coming through, and off goes one of the runners. A few more runners beginning to come in with the dispatches. And at last it's all over, and the victors return to camp. I wonder what will be going on here. Looks like somebody in trouble down at Swift's. Uh-huh. Halsey out of his depth again. Just as well he wasn't wearing long trousers, or they too might have been left down the hole. A game of cricket on the lawn? Well, rounders. One of the few really fine days.
It's the hardest affair in the town. There's a fiery show going on below. It's gonna be warm. We are throwing a party tonight, and we'll set everybody alight. It'll be a treat turning on the heat. It's gonna be warm. Oh, we're having a bonfire. We'll be burning the lot. Mr. Lucifer's ardent followers gonna be hotter than hot. It's gonna be warm. It's gonna be warm.
This game requires a bit of thinking out. The object is to get a small supply of firewood, etc., across to the scout stranded on the far bank. How? You may well ask. At least one patrol is successful. Camp sports, this time with a march past. Some perhaps a little too ambitious.
Through the sky.
Bolas throwing. The stilt race. The obstacle race. The water splash was constructed and manned by some of the rover crew.
The clouds of darkest blue. If you just keep an eye for the rainbow in the sky, you will find it somewhere.
There is always an opportunity for the handymen in camp. And this year a drawbridge has been constructed and another raft. It was a great pity the weather did not allow us to make more use of the river for swimming, but there are always a few brave lads willing to have a go.
Oh, how I've longed for today, and I've been such a long time away. No doubt about it, there's love I can share. Deep in
A new game during free time this year was camp golf, and many a happy hour was spent at this. A Scouter versus boys match in progress on one of the last evenings of the camp.
I've heard the call, and it's
A last look at the campsite before it was dismantled. For most of the boys, the end of the highlight of the season. But for a dozen or so of the older boys, the greatest adventure was yet to come. The 11th World Boy Scout Jamboree was held on the plains of Marathon in Greece, and the 1st Aberdeen was represented at this great event by Harry Miller and John McLennan. In addition, a party of 10 older boys and scouters journeyed to Athens to visit the Jamboree and enjoy the colour and spectacle of this famous gathering. The 4 Scottish troops were situated in the sub-camp Leontis, and John and Harry were in the troop skippered by Stuart Wilson, a previous scoutmaster of the 1st. This was our meeting. Some more of the Scottish contingent. While we were there, a tea party was being given by the Scots boys to representatives of all the other nationalities at the Jamboree. And of course the pipe band is on parade to welcome the guests. A most colourful occasion in the Mediterranean sunlight. Next, a few glimpses of the multitude of activities to occupy a boy at a jamboree. A talent spotting competition. perhaps the most impressive exhibit of all, the American space capsule Sigma 7, and you can see how popular this was. Lastly, the magnificent symbol at the entrance to the Jamboree at Marathon. It means simply scouting higher and wider, and sets the keynote of this wonderful event in the life of a scout. To end this film of 1963, a return to the 1st Troop September weekend camp at Clinton. The words are by BP himself, and they are just as appropriate today as they were 20 years ago when they were spoken.
My dear brother scouts, I am 80 years old. What do you think of that? But I can't say that I feel very much older than some of you. I want you to have as long and jolly a life as I've had, and you can get it if you keep yourself healthy and helpful to others. I'll tell you my secret for this. I've always tried to carry out the Scout promise and the Scout law in all that I do. If you do that, you'll make a success of your life and will have a very happy time, even if you live to be 80, like me. I wish you a long and happy life and lots of good camping.
Plenty of fun and games at the 1st Troops Easter Camp for 1964, when a posse of rovers mount a full-scale attack on the campsite. This assault was not altogether unexpected, and is met with fierce resistance from a well-prepared position. The troop also took advantage of a new water supply which had been laid on at Clinton for the first time. After the battle, the attackers and defenders exchange a few words, while the mess is cleared up. All is now well, and the troop returns to the more normal, peaceable pursuits of camping, as dusk falls and the rovers take their leave. The first North of Scotland Rover Ranger Moot was held at Harrow House in May this year, with the first City of Aberdeen Rovers as host crew. Over 300 Rangers and Rovers assembled from all corners of the North East. and following the formal handing over of the colours, the opening ceremony was performed by Sir Ian Forbes-Leith. A large number of base-to-base activities were arranged for the first afternoon's programme, including canoeing, archery, judo, trampoline, fencing, football, and a mystery item. The mystery item was a number of fake accidents realistically demonstrated by the Aberdeen branch of the Casualties Union. While this was going on, the guests were being served with dinner in the marquee, and there is plenty washing up to be done before nightfall, and the dance in the hall at Haddow House. Next morning, the service in the chapel, and afterwards everyone is invited to the site of the campfire and barbecue of the previous evening for coffee and rolls served by the Rangers. And very good they were too. After this, pioneering for all, and a chance for the boys to show the girls some of their handiwork with ropes and spars. The Ranger campsite. The Rover campsite. The last afternoon, in brilliant sunshine, the moot was addressed by Miss Nixon, the Ranger guest speaker. The final fall-in with the presentation of a commemorative plaque to each Rover crew and Ranger company. Flag down and prayers concludes the first North of Scotland Rover Ranger Moot, a milestone in the history of scouting in Aberdeen, and it is hoped the first of many events of this kind.